Best 2K 144Hz Monitors 2023. With the best 144Hz 4K monitors hitting the shelves, you no longer have to choose between fast refresh rates and Ultra HD resolution. For more information, I have links, products in description. Make sure you check it out. Like the video, comment, don't forget to subscribe. Let's get started. Number 1. MSI Optix MPG321UR-QD. The newer MSI Optix MPG321UR-QD, which hit the streets in the latter part of 2021, seems to have mastered the balancing act, from its size to its features down to its price. This QLED monitor is decently sized at 32 inches, offering a whole lot of real estate, especially with that 4K resolution, without being an overwhelming desktop experience. It also comes with all the right features: display HDR 600, 99% Adobe RGB, 97% DCI-P3 and 143% sRGB color gamuts, and NVIDIA G-Sync, but none of the unnecessary premium ones that would make it inaccessible, price-wise. And it's got all the video input ports you need for both PC and console gaming, all for less than $1,000 or quid. Number 2. Asus ROG Strix XG27UQ. The Asus ROG Strix XG27UQ may be expensive for a 27-inch monitor, but it's more than worth the price tag. Although it's among the smaller displays on this list, it's still very immersive thanks to its excellent color coverage and display HDR 400 certification. This Asus display is as impressive on the outside as on the inside, with a stand that can be adjusted quite a bit. It's even capable of being rotated into portrait mode. It has quite the port selection as well, though it is missing HDMI 2.1, required for reaching 4K at 120 Hz. Outside of that one misstep, and it's slightly higher priced, this Asus monitor proves to be a versatile and attractive choice. Number 3. Acer Predator XB273K. If you're on a budget, look no further than the Acer Predator XB273K. In fact, for a little more than $500 or quid, you get quite the package. Not only does it sport a USB hub, stereo speakers, and LED mood lighting, but it also comes with display HDR 400 and G-Sync. Though that HDR suffers a little from the fact that the monitor uses a single backlight instead of the full-array local dimming backlights of higher-end monitors. Considering the price, however, those on a budget will appreciate all that this display offers. As it happens, Acer's latest gaming panel, the Acer Predator XB3, aka the Acer Predator XB273K, nails that little list and does so for less money than its previous high-end screen in this category, the Acer Predator X27. Not to mention Asus's similar ROG Swift PG32UQ, even if the XB3 still isn't exactly cheap at $999. Of course, even at this price point you'll have to make a few compromises. The most obvious is the sheer scale of the Acer Predator XB3. At 27 inches, we wouldn't call it truly tiny, but neither is it cinematic. Driving a 4K monitor at high refresh rates in the latest PC games can be problematic, too. One day, this kind of money will buy an 8K monitor at the size of your choosing, and the graphics hardware to drive it will be relatively affordable, but that's years away, and, for now, this is what cutting-edge PC gaming looks like, on paper at least. Number 4. Asus ROG Swift PG32UQX. If the Asus ROG Swift PG32UQX has any shortcomings, it's purely because its price tag is so high. It might not come with the full kitchen sink of features. Built-in speakers and motion blur reduction are missing, for instance, but it comes with most of the important ones, like a USB hub and NVIDIA G-Sync Ultimate. More importantly, its 98% DCI-P3 and 160% sRGB color gamuts make it as appealing for content creators as for gamers. And HDR 1400 delivers unrivaled contrast. There are plenty of ports on tap as well, though it is missing the HDMI 2.1 that's needed for getting the most out of the latest generation of gaming consoles. Number 5. Gigabyte Aorus FV43U. At 43 inches, the Gigabyte Aorus FV43U may be too large for most users. However, it makes the perfect companion to a gaming setup, especially with that HDMI 2.1 port needed for that 4K at 120 Hz performance on the latest consoles and graphics cards. It also sports 97% DCI-P3, 150% sRGB, and 99% Adobe RGB color gamuts, as well as HD 1000 for a truly immersive viewing experience. On top of that, its speakers are surprisingly good. which is rarely the case with built-in speakers. If that isn't enough, it also comes with a USB-C port and KVM switching, making it perfect for multi-device setups. Sitting up close to this monster initially feels like you're a naughty 2-year-old staring at the TV from way too close. For office applications, especially, you'll need to be turning your head side to side and up and down to see from one end to the other. The 3840x2160 resolution is just sharp enough for regular office work, but only just. The lower than normal pixel density means you can see pixelation and lettering where you shouldn't if you don't get your Windows scaling settings right. To be frank, this wasn't ideal for extended working, as the regular head movement gets wearing on your neck, shoulders, and eyes. Nonetheless, there were times where spreading several fully open documents across the screen at once became a productivity boost. That aside, this being a gaming monitor means it lives and dies by its gaming performance. Quantum dot-generated colors are bright and vibrant. A 144 Hz refresh rate with 1 ZPRT keeps motion smooth and fast and frantic shooters, and this is enhanced by VRR, variable refresh rate to stop graphical tearing. There's also ALM, auto low latency mode, which tells the screen that a console is connected and requires a low latency connection. Number 6. Acer Nitro XV282K. Not a lot of monitors can provide the kind of performance needed to keep up with the latest generation of gaming consoles. However, the Acer Nitro XV282K can with its 2 HDMI 2.1 ports, and, thanks to its smaller 28-inch screen size, it also fits neatly in a traditional desk setup. And in a USB-C port for connecting the MacBook Pro or Dell XPS, and you have a monitor that can seemingly do it all. Its contrast does pale in comparison to some of its competitors though. Its display HDR400 might look good when side by side with more budget models, but, considering its upper mid-range price tag, is a bit of a disappointment. That said, Acer's color representation is fairly accurate with 130% sRGB and 90% DCI-P3 color gamuts. Number 7. Samsung Odyssey Neo G7 S32BG75. If you find the Samsung Odyssey Neo G8 S32BG75 too expensive and want something cheaper, look into the Samsung Odyssey Neo G7 S32BG75. It's a lower-end model than the Neo G8, and while it has many of the same features, it's different in a few ways. The main difference is that the Neo G7 has a lower 165 Hz refresh rate, but this doesn't make much of a difference if you aren't going to play 4 games with a higher frame rate anyways. Although the mini LED local dimming feature has fewer zones than the Neo G8, it still performs decently, and it helps it display deep blacks in dark rooms. Its gaming performance is very similar to the Neo G8 because it has a quick response time and a backlight strobing feature to reduce persistence blur. But it only works within a narrow range. Input lag remains low for a responsive feel across its entire refresh rate range. Additionally, it's a great choice to use with gaming consoles because it has HDMI 2.1 bandwidth on 2 HDMI ports, allowing you to take full advantage of the Xbox Series X or PS5. We tested the 32-inch Samsung Odyssey Neo G7. It's only available in this size and replaces the Samsung Odyssey G7 C32G75T. Although the Samsung Odyssey G7 S28X70 shares the same name, they are different monitors, and this monitor doesn't replace it.